Hey everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you how to do a wonderful loose floral in watercolor with just one color paint, Payne's Gray. I'm going to probably try to do it with one brush because this is a really good floral practice. I'm a little bit late, and that is because I got the craziest comment on my other channel before I came here, and I was actually trying to formulate how to respond to it. And that rarely happens to me because usually my comments are so sweet. I'm like, oh, how can I acknowledge this amazing person and help them feel built up as much as they built me up? But this kind of was the opposite way.
Meow.
And here's what's crazy about it. It was from somebody who's been subscribed for a year and they edited it, which means, and I have to share this with you. I know I teach art, but I just have to share this with you. I'm gonna edit language. What the blank hell is a titch? Do you mean bumpy instead of bumbly? And what the he double sticks? What the hell is aeons? Do you mean eons? Come on, speak English and speak your native language, please, so we can understand you. This is supposed to be a tutorial where we actually learn. So I've learned some things about this person. One is that they don't understand their varietals of English. So that gives you a unique perspective into their view, but they edited this. This was the best, nicest thing that they could say to me. Now, understanding my day, before I was live, because I said I would keep up the watercolor classes, I did 2 acrylic Aprils trying to catch up from being sick and traveling and having crazy family stuff happen at home. And I went in to just change over from one channel to the next. And this was there. This was over on the tree hugging a moon video, which is like so old. So I'm like, first of all, if you've been subscribed to me for a year, you should know what a titch is. I say it all the time. It's a small amount. It's even like it's in the dictionary. It's an English colloquial. And I can't say bumpy or bumbly or aeons or eons. It's been too long ago. And for all I know, the closed captioning just caught it weird because I have kind of a weird speech to text does not always love me. And so this is why, if you're like, hey, what took you a minute to be here? This is what took me a minute to be here because I got to figure out, am I going to block the account, right? And make it where they can't comment on the channel anymore? Is it possible that there is a mental health reason they spoke to me like this? Is it that somebody hacked their account? Like, it is really crazy. So that, I know you guys love me, and again, 99.9% of my community leaves me comments that I just are just a joy to answer or are interesting or just the process of me being a teacher. But this got me, man. You guys, this totally like threw me. So welcome to live. If you haven't been live with me for a second, because like I've been so, crazy into the busy of that. I'm going to go and get my little picture. Man, how are you doing, John? Better than me.
I'm here.
John is doing great.
I'm here.
Victoria, people are upset over everything these days, and Ashley's saying we love you. And Carol's like, we know what a titch is. Yes, because you know what a titch is. And you know what? Even in America, and I'm sure it's true in England, there are varietals of established and recognized English.
This is just.
I mean, I just can't even. The judgment a person would have to be in.
It's just very confrontational.
To leave that comment. Like, they're just, like, here's a, like, this is where they're sitting at home. They're like, oh, this lady's taught me art for free for a year. And is teaching me art every day for free for like a month. This is what I should say. I just think about the people in their lives, the people at home, the people who are with them. What is that like for the people in their lives?
Look, y'all.
So, don't unsubscribe for the channel. I do teach art here.
Let me just say this.
Nobody
else can heckle my wife because I won't have a job anymore. So if you start heckling my wife, what am I going to do? So y'all got to knock it off.
It's not y'all. It's one person.
It's
very rare
that
a comment throws me, but it was just like me logging on, and it was the thing that popped up in my, and I'm just tired today because I've just been working like crazy. And I'm just like, not during acrylic April when I'm trying to keep the watercolor channel going and get ready for a retreat. My mom's visiting. Oh, come on.
Yep.
and on the tree hugging a moon video, which frankly I think is a very sweet video. It's a sweet video. All right. So I have, by the way, sorry, brands related to me. This is probably not the brand assessment you want.
I'll be back.
Hey, this isn't sponsored. And I had to have to tell you, I actually met the creator of Fabriano. Oh, babe, there's an echo. Oh, okay. They're really loud. Can you hear okay? Okay, so I met the creator of Fabriano, and I'm going to tell you a Fabriano fact that is going to blow your mind. It's going to be like a palate cleanser for your soul. It's a palate cleanser for mine, even as I think about it. This paper, not this specific pad of paper, but this brand of paper, this makeup paper, is 800 years old. It's 8 centuries. It's 8 centuries of this paper. Just when you're on your Fabriano pad and you're like, this company, 8 centuries. So I met the owner. So Fabriano, I'm doing extra white today, 9x12, as per always. I'm going to be using Raphael, also like 200, it's like hundreds of years old too. The soft aqua, which is their imitation squirrel, and they're coming out, I think, with a faux Kolinsky soon or something. So keep an eye on them. I like these faux synthetics because it gets us out of, necessarily using animals where we don't have to. Donna Freeman. I hope they don't listen to their grandma with recipe measurements. I know. It's like, what? So I'm going to be using this. It's a number 16. You could use a number 14. You could just anything, or an 8 up. I think the other one, like anything in this size range would be good. I might even use my number 14. I've got Payne's Great, and I put out the Sennelier Aqua, which is the one with honey. And I also have the Core, which is the one that has the different binder in it that they have a patent on. This tends to have more of a bloom. This tends to be tighter, so sometimes I like to use them together. You don't need to. Oh, Robin's like, take a breath and bring in positive vibes. Heather K says, I also cook and use a titch, a pinch, and a scan. I mean, again, usually I roll with it. I'm like, I actually have a comment auto response for slightly critical feedback where I'm like, thank you for your feedback. You help us make our show better. And I try to answer it in those ways. But this one was just, it just blew my mind. Let me reset. It's just because I've been working like nonstop. Third painting today. I don't think this is going to have high replayability. Oh my gosh. I teach art on YouTube. Been doing it for 7 years. This week. You know what, though? I'm going to feel better after I do this painting because art helps us feel better. So this is going to be proof that the things that I say are not just my lip service, but they're true. I could not be more tired. I could not have more going on. I could not have more chaos that hit me in my life this month. It's like literally this year said to like 2021 and 2020 hold my beer. This year was like, for me, it was like, yeah, you think this was, let me show you. So thank goodness I have art in my life. If I didn't have art in my life, I don't know what I would do. If I didn't have you amazing guys to go into the group and answer questions and do all this, because everybody's usually so amazing, and I didn't have art, I don't know what I would do. We're going to be doing curved strokes. I teach art on YouTube. Let's get our brush wet. That's always a good way to start. I'm going to get my brush wet, my round brush, and I'm going to get it thoroughly wet because it's nice to prime it. And I'm going to get a very, 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 very light amount of gray. This first amount of gray will be light, right? Because we start kind of lightest to darkest in watercolor. Amy's like, let me at her. I'll go get her. Yeah, I don't even need anyone got. It's just, sometimes I just wonder at the world, like, what is happening in your day? What is going on in your day, man? I'm going to make brush strokes on the paper, and you know what? It's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to come here right in the center, and I'm going to just press, kind of pull down, and I'm going to get a little water on my brush and come next to it and press and pull down. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to get a little more water. Press and pull down. It's very light. Maybe come next to it. And I put little curves on these strokes. And the reason I like to put little curves on these strokes is that it helps imply the floral. Black and white florals were a really fantastic way to practice the skill. And, you know, they really help you, take a minute of peace in your life if for some reason you were having a day like I was having a little peace. It's a whole different video than I intended. I don't even know what story I would pull from it. I'm going to continue to paint though, because that helps me. I'm going to pull this up. Very rare. You guys who've been here for a minute know I usually don't lose my sense of humor about it all. I generally, just really, I think it was the titch. I've been here. I didn't know what a titch was, and my brain just went, what? Let's keep curving these strokes. So I'm going to press down. You can see I've actually got some pretty great pressure on this brush, and I might even kind of smush and pull in. See, to get that sort of wet leaf. And I've left it open in the center here, and doesn't that sort of imply a little flower? Hi, I'm sorry, chat friends. What size is this brush? This brush is a 16. You could use a 14. You could probably get up to an 18 and be getting very similar effects. You could get away with a quill here very well. You know, I love you guys. You guys are great. This was a good live show to just suddenly pop into, wasn't it? I'm going to come here and continue to add some of my lighter foliage. I'm going to very wet brush. Do you see how wet this is on my palette? And I'm going to make kind of an interesting little leaf. So I'm going to come on the edge and I'm going to pull down, make a little line that touches into this flower. And then I'm going to come here and again, see how these are curved strokes? But the edge of this creates sort of that feeling of the leaf, doesn't it? And I will leave a little space between that flower and the leaf. Kind of connect it there. And let's come here and again, just a little tiny hair of a space until we pull in. And that's how you get that really wonderful leaf. How wonderful is that? Ooh, so wonderful. I feel bad for anybody coming in late who was like, I thought I was going to learn how to paint today. What? All right, let's bring a little kind of bit off here. And maybe I'm going to get a little of my core watercolor. And I'm going to touch in and see how this is a little bit darker. And I'm going to tap down on the brush. I'll get into the other. And I'm going to come down my stem. I think definitely maybe a little washed out. Can you configure and zoom in? And I'm just bringing it on my toe and I'm pulling it back into the stem. Look, we're just pulling it back into the stem. And the strokes tend to be curved. Right? Now, if I want to go into a slightly kind of darker bit, I can kind of come here and touch that. And look, it just blends in. And that's where sometimes we touch something that's wet. And because it's still wet, it creates some wonderful blooming effects. Now pull in and come here. The trick to this often is to leave open spaces to know when we're touching wet areas to wet areas and when we're going to, perhaps do darker layers into dry areas. Let's make a nice big open kind of, I'm going to say it's almost like perhaps a tulip. So I'm going to press down and curve and come over here. Maybe a little stroke and curve. So see how I put that little stroke off there a bit. Up. And then back. And where we're going to really want is to leave an opening. I'm going to actually bring a little white up there. Where we can open this up. See how that creates the opening of that flower. And that's amazing. And I'm going to come get just a little of my Payne's Gray. And I'll let that kind of bloom in there and darken some of that. My day today. What? I'm going to bring up, I think I'm going to go even more extreme off here, and I'm going to do a nice little light one come here, and perhaps a little bit of foliage. Let's touch there with some dark and allow that to kind of bloom through those leaves. Oh, Deborah, thank you so much. Cindy M says, Cinnamon, thank you, and John and the mods. I appreciate all of what you do for others and your subscribers. I want you guys to know, I know you've got it. I know you get it. I think there's this vocal minority taking a big dookie on the world. And it's like that in life, isn't it? It's like no matter group of friends or family members or wherever you're at socially, it's most people are really just trying to like kind of work together and keep it together and build it up. I'd say that's most of it. And then there's just a few people who come along and they're like, nope, I'm gonna back up my little dump truck to this moment and see where it will take me. I'm gonna continue to add some dark to the back of that because I think that's gonna be very dramatic. Don't you guys love that? So sorry to pull that one in there. I just I think my brain just exploded. I'm gonna go ahead and pull some of like a petal back here, like there's something happening there. And I think I'll rinse out and get kind of into a light color again. And let's very light leaves, right? But you can always come in and say, oh, what if I put a little dark there? Oh, that's wonderful what that's doing. On that edge. Just too nice. Coming out here. Now this leaf is going to be a lot of fun to do. Lot of fun to do. And I am feeling better right now. Right now, this has already made me feel better. From that moment at the beginning of the video, if you're still here and you haven't followed, from that moment at the beginning of the video to this moment, I would say if my mood was down here on the paper, it's come up, it's come up, it's come up. It's about right here. Art helps you process stuff. I'm doing it right now in front of you. I'm in here and just sort of loading up my brush, and we're going to like medium pressure, just the toe. And then this brush stroke is going to curve and remain open kind of at the base. See how we created that leaf? Andy Costa says, so I get it, Cinnamon. The person who asked me if I will eventually paint original is someone I know from church. You know what people who piano never hear? Like, so say you play piano, right? And you're like at a holiday party or even a church. They don't come up to the organist and go, so when are you going to compose originals? Right? Do you ever notice that there's these absurd things that people come in and weigh in on? Huh? Got any? Yeah, you don't. Well, that would be a little much. But like, if somebody's playing piano or guitar, people don't come up to them and say, "When are you making original music?" They're just like, "Oh, thank you for the guitar music. That made my life better." People are just some people. Gotta keep it. Remember, some people are just so strange, and they're what they choose to do. I'm going to come in and tap a little darker gray into that because I think that blooming down there will be, oh, so drama. Oh, so drama. And I'm going to make a nice kind of long bit there. And those little rough things kind of create that sense of, just different foliage, right? But let's make this darker here and let it just bloom out, right? So it's the light and the dark. And we haven't even gotten into where we might come in and this is pretty dry right now. So guess what I can do here? I'll come in with a slightly darker, but I still want to come in and I'm going to come up here. I'm sorry, I moved on, John. He's going to go there. Oh, look at that overhead. Doesn't that look good already? This is really fun. You can just do 100 of these. And you can put them in frames and you can give them as gifts and people can put them in their home and they'll love them. I don't know anything that would make Amy give up. I want Amy to never ever give up on anything. Amy's one of the great joys in our community and our life, and Amy's never, unless it's, you know, I don't know. I'm probably out of the conversation there, so I don't know if I'm. Oh, oh. Well, as long as you never leave us, and it's okay to take some time drawing and then come back to painting. All right, so I'm going to come here and continue to pull down. And I'm really painting the center of this flower, right? How they have the little bits in there. But notice it's these open spaces, right? I'm taking care to just leave some open, to leave some for the imagination, to help me like find things. All right, now when I have it in, I'm going to come in to my Payne's Gray. And you saw I got quite a dark load, and look at that. Not all of it that dark, just some of it that dark. And remember, you can lift, so I can come in and lift some if I want some of these to be a little lighter. Right? We create a little value variance. And that just makes our minds so happy. And I'm just coming in there. Oh, I really love that. Karen's over on Facebook. I want to say hi to Facebook. I'm going to come back. I'm on live. I'm live today. So John's only got one set of chat for me, but I'm going to come back through and just read everything. And you guys are also fantastic on Facebook. I completely get it. All right, more flowers. Let's keep doing some more flowers. I think that there's going to be this just really, we're going to make a big open expressive flower here, right here. You guys ready? This is going to be from the belly to the toe. It's going to be curving in. All right, and come there. And then I'm going to come like this. Little lines. All right, that's pretty good. Now, let's get some darker. Because, drama. Loading it up much darker. Well, that did it, didn't it? So it told us a little story there. And we didn't have to do a lot to tell the story. Trisha! Oh, the Minky is amazing. I'm loving it. It definitely brought joy into my life. All right, I'm going to come over here now. I'm going to make a nice long little line out here just to help me think about, oh, there's some little plants that maybe are coming. I've made those 3 lines. I've committed to them. Let's put some leaves on them. I just come back and kind of bring and pull in some leaves to this little stem. Right. Come here and I can get a little darker in there and hopefully like, oh, these leaves could be very dark. Look at that. Oh, I like that. That got very dramatic. Now these, I'm going to come here and kind of do a little brush stroke out. And then on that, I'll press and release. Press and release. Press and release. Oh, that one got a little bigger. Oh, I was thinking there. That's a nice leaf to practice. So we have the leaves that kind of pull into the plant. And then these that sort of pull away, getting kind of into it. Glazing right over. And I think they'll get smaller as we go out. Pulling them in there. Just giving them a little variance. Just say, hey, if you think of it. Now I'm going to show you a neat little variation here. I'm going to come in and make a little push up. It's sort of a little squared shape. And I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to do another. These will be little flowers. Just going to fill in. And I can come in and if I connect and darken, look, it creates a little flower that's facing me like a little pansy. Is that wild? Darken the center and let it go out. Just a little pansy. Where did that pansy come from? From there. That's how it is. That's how we like it. Two little brush strokes in and that creates another set of leaves. Sometimes I think it's nice to create little lines that balance out. I think I'm going to add something up here this time. I'm going to do some more of those little pansies just to practice. So pulling in. Like two little commas that connect and we just make sure the center of the flower is like that. And for this to work, I've got to have, you know, the center of the flower be a little bit wet still. So when I come back with the gray and I connect, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Make some more of those. I like those. That's very calming. Let's make some more of these guys. Next week's going to be another very chill little flower exercise. You know, we're doing Acrylic April all floral over on my channel, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. That was less chill. And, you know, it's nice to practice flowers because they're subject matter that we enjoy, you know, even just looking at.
Yeah.
And so I'm just making little kind of stems of flowers that are coming out that way. And I'm going to come back with the dark and connect these up, making these. Oh, these are just right now my favorites. I should make a little short just about these, huh?
Yeah. It's like meditation.
It is like meditation. Doing stuff like this is like meditation. I'm going to come over with a darker color now. Things are dry. And see how if it's dry, then you can glaze over it and create a layering in your floral. You're just working black and white. It's just teaching you the techniques. But you're going to learn from this what you need to do if you're trying to do something like that. Now a little bit grayer out here. We're kind of creating a little bloom, a little spike bloom, and then I'm going to come back with my dark color and let it
Interesting.
work down a bit. Oh, what I'm doing is interesting? Yeah, just create a little bit of that flower is sort of fascinating. Oh, well, there we are, guys. That's what we were doing today, and we practiced it, and we had a little, you had a like, oh yeah, live shows. live. Who knows? Who knows what will happen?
This turned out wonderful.
It did turn out wonderful. And I'm going to see you guys next week. Now, during the retreat, I won't be live because I got my mom in town and we're doing a retreat. And so that's going on, but we'll be live the next week after that. So next Wednesday is your last live watercolor until after the retreat, which is the week before Mother's Day. So after the 8th, we'll be back live again. Be sure and hi Michael Art. I see Michael Art and I see Chelly. Hi all, can't stay. I have homework to do, but I hardly ever get to join in on a live. Cinnamon and John, what a beautiful painting. Can't wait to try it. Watercolor is so good for the soul. We literally proved that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
I do feel better. I'm okay. I don't even need to think about it for the rest of the night. I'm just like myself again. And that's what art does. Art makes us just feel better. So that's where we're at. And Jen's like, glad you came in to find your peace with us. I did find my peace with you. Because again, I don't want to make other communities mad, but I have the best art community online. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
You just give me joy every day. Would I do this for 7 years for free if you guys weren't just the best? All right. So you know you're amazing and you are deserving of this. And I hope you enjoy your watercolor. And remember, just do this 5 or 6 times. It's just a fun way to play. I can't wait to see yours in group. You can share these watercolors in the Art Sherpa official group. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye.